What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode 26 of the Casual Weebs podcast. Listen, we got the Fruit Loops favorite protein powder. It is fucking delicious, and we are ready to talk about some amazing anime, because this week was absolutely insane. Listen, I ended up, deciding to binge the entirety, pretty much, almost the entirety, of Tower of God, last night.
Ooh, okay, sick.
Honestly, dude, if you guys have seen it and you guys are watching season 2, let me know what you think in the comments down below, because I'm very interested to hear. Season 1, I'm not going to give any spoilers, no spoilers. Season 1 had a really cool concept, but all of the twists and big things that happened, they made it very predictable, and they, foreshadowed the fuck out of it. The characters are pretty cool, right? But, the ending just wasn't quite there. The twist was, so obvious, and then the way that some of the characters reacted, I was just not that great. And now season 2, it's just kind of hard to watch because they are a whole new cast. It's a whole new cast, all new characters. It is what is this? It was one of those where it's just okay, we have this cool thing, and then this completely change it and pretty much create an entirely new anime in season 2. So listen, if you're watching Tower of God, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I saw a bunch of clips, it looked cool, so I was all right, let's try it out, but I don't know how I feel about it, I'm gonna be honest. It's crazy.
That's interesting. I have a couple buddies who have watched it, two, I think, and one really likes it and recommended it, and the other was kind of trashing it. He said he really liked season 1, but season 2 wasn't. I guess I could see why. If it's totally different, you know what I mean? You might not like it, but would you recommend it? Would you recommend at least season 1?
Okay, so again, anytime an anime has that season 2 where it's a whole new cast, even the main character is a completely different dude. Completely different dude.
Okay, totally different. I gotcha.
So in the first season, he's this very innocent kid that really doesn't know anything. He doesn't really understand his powers, and he's really lighthearted. Everyone loves how innocent and pure he is, because they're wow, we've all been through such tragedy, such shit. We're all depressed fucking people. We don't want him to turn into us, so let's protect him, right? But in season 2, he's worse than them. He doesn't speak to anybody, doesn't talk to anybody. He doesn't want anyone to be around him. He's fuck you all. I'm gonna kill everybody. You know what I mean? He went from Naruto to his Sasuke arc. It was insane. So it's completely different, and it's I don't like that. And because of that, I wouldn't really recommend season 1, especially because season 1, they again foreshadowed everything. If they didn't, I would have been blown away by the twist, because it was pretty insane stuff that they did. But again, when you foreshadow the hell out of it and you completely see it coming, it's kind of alright. So I wouldn't say that I'd recommend it. I'd recommend season 1 to someone who's watched a ton of anime and has kind of run out of shit to watch. It's yo, you might enjoy this. Season 1 was pretty solid.
I gotcha.
But when there's plenty of other shit out there, probably recommend that before. But anyways, yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. Also have to try by Earth, I believe it's called. One of you guys recommended that, so I gotta go check that one out as well. Apparently that's pretty good. That's coming out this season as well. But what has been killing it has been in my opinion, the 3 musketeers of anime this anime season: Elusive Samurai, Ayla Hides Her Feelings, and Wistoria. Bro, which one do you want to dive into first?
What'd you think of Wistoria? It was a good episode. Definitely interesting.
Okay. So
I'd like to hear your opinions on it.
Yeah, we were talking about it where you're like, yo, I wanted to see Julius get smoked a little bit more.
Yeah, man.
I thought he got mentally fucked. Mentally,
he did. His pride is hurt.
Yeah, because Will was sitting there, he's like, yeah, so by the way, you know how you're so excited you figured out this magic? She did that when she was 2. Just saying. And then the best part was, he's like, hey, Julius, I hate to do this to you, brother. I hate to say this, but I remember being attacked by 10 Elfies when he's got only 7. And he's like, are you kidding me? At 2 years old, she could do 10?
And even everybody else in the crowd, they were kind of surprised and shocked. You know what I mean? That not only he knew that, but because they were really impressed with Julius's skill and how far he'd come with that spell. So that was definitely interesting in how they kind of built Elfie up, but also Will at the same time knowing all that stuff.
Yeah, and then just making Julius a complete fucking ass. Let's keep in mind, sure, Elfie did that show when she was 2, but no other mage has done that magic since. And we have someone who self-taught it to themselves. What Julius did was still very impressive, and yet somehow still got dicked in front of everybody. And I mean, even Rossi was saying it when he thought he had Will beat. And I even have it quoted, if he doesn't win now, he'll look pathetic. And what
Yeah.
do you know? Julius looks so pathetic, just looks so stupid. And honestly, when it comes to the physical combat, him getting his ass whooped, the teeth being knocked out was just, oh my
Yeah, that was
god.
awesome.
Pick them up and put them on the wall, like on the little shelf. Those little trophies, bro. Will, those are yours. But going back to what you were saying a couple episodes ago, are we now going to see the scene where he apologized to the dwarves? Because
I hope
did he
so.
lose though? Because that's the thing. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole thing. If Will wins, Julius has to apologize to the dwarves. But if Julius wins, I forget, but something else happens. Does that count? Did any of them win? Because technically, Will won the fight, but he didn't win the event. You know what I mean? So what were they talking about? What you needed that dub for? So I guess we're really gonna see, is Julius going to go back on his word? Does it count? Does it not count? Are we going to get that scene you were talking about, or we wanted to see the apology to the dwarves? I think that would be really cool.
You're definitely right. I would have to go back and see like what the specifics of the bet are, because Julius is going to be like, doing everything in his power not to apologize. But I hope we do get that. That would be humbling for him.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Neither of them win. Will wins the fight for sure, but the green team, I forget what the guy's name is, the
Wignall,
elven dude.
I think his name.
Wignall, yes. Yeah, definitely. Wignall gets the crown. So like his team wins the challenge, but I definitely think Will kind of stole the show there.
I think he's going to be a sleeper, Wignall, because he's Julius without the ego. He's very, very skilled. I mean, he instantly destroyed Julius's clone. He was the only one who did that when they first appeared. Remember, he instantly destroys it. And he's like, "Oh, didn't know you had this trick up your sleeve." You know what I mean? Like, he's very put together, stays very calm, doesn't have the ego where like the desire for like he's not emotional. You know what I mean? And yet he's still very, very strong, focused purely on the objective. It's going to be very interesting to see how he plays, because that's an adversary that you would not want to go against. That is someone who Will might not stand a chance against.
Yeah, he's very intelligent, more so than Julius, who's like more emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like picking a fight with Will, but you're right. He recognized the kind of that clone spell too. So like he's obviously got knowledge of like higher level magic, and he's one of the 3 most successful students there. So that obviously speaks for itself. But yeah, he definitely played it everybody else for sure.
Yeah, and let's bring something up that I found was fucking hilarious. So last episode, you were talking about, hey, there was like those little intro scene, there was like those little like intermission scenes throughout the episodes, and they have information, they kind of tell you about shit. Well, Julius has popped up, and it's all of his information, and I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'm gonna pause it and read it real quick because you're saying that there's some good stuff there. Listen, do that for every episode. The shit that was written about Julius was so goddamn funny. Like, Julius's first love was apparently a maid, and then it put in quotes, Julius got his heart broken.
Yeah, yo, that was so good. It was like, all right, I see you, player.
Like, yo, Julius is catching strays even in his little description, talking about his first love's a maid, and then she broke his heart. His like wand is apparently from a certain maid that's undisclosed. Wonder who that was from that he treasures, and like all this other shit. So like, there's some really funny stuff mixed in there. You definitely have to pause episodes quick. The little thing that I don't know if there's gonna be something or not at the end. It said something weird. It said like this version of him is incomplete. Is there multiple Juliuses?
Who said
very
that?
weird.
I missed that.
So it was like that vertical thing where it says all of his like stats, his height, birth, the thing about the maid, all that kind of stuff. How he's a noble, but he's like pompous and shit. And at the end, it's like this version of him is incomplete. Or like doesn't work because like of the emotion. So I'm wondering, like, is he like some like experiment or something? You know what I mean? By his family, is he some magical experiment?
I don't know. Maybe I would have to go back and read Shion's as well to like see kind of what it says about him. But like maybe just being like immature and emotional, being like that entitled noble, kid. Maybe that's what they're referring to. But yeah, I definitely missed that. That's interesting.
Also, what are your thoughts on? I saw that Elfie and Will have the same last name. What do you think of that?
I guess they're from the same orphanage or whatever, like, or the same town. Like, I didn't really understand that. Like, they haven't really gone into her backstory at all. But like, also, yeah, that was like pretty brief too. Like, they obviously grew up together, but we haven't gotten too much, I don't think, about either of their backstories.
So they're both orphans from the same orphanage. But the thing that I saw was Will Surfort, and it's Alfaria Alvis Surfort. as if it's like kind of like a hyphen type thing. Like Alfaria is really Alfaria Alvis, right? You know what I mean? I feel like she's kind of adding it on. Maybe it's kind of like a promise ring type thing, where she's gonna like take his last name and the promise that one day they'll be together or something like that. Like I don't know. I just feel like that they have the same last name. They showed it, but they haven't talked about why. You know what I mean? Like what's up with that?
Yeah,
Like
there's
is it,
definitely like a lore point. I think that's coming. Definitely
because
good picking up on
she
that.
she wants him. Like she talked about that a lot that episode that she's looking for that lone sword.
Yes,
That is our
exactly. Yeah,
boy
like we've
Will.
we've gotten a couple like cool foreshadowing points on it, but I mean,
Oh,
Will still has a good ways to go, but I think beating Julius, like he'll finally earn some respect. Like people at the
mm,
school will be like, all right, Will definitely is not like a no talent.
yeah. I mean, even he shocked Shion, where he was like, "Oh my god, he beat Julius too! Like, what can't he do?" But I thought it was so cool how it cuts to Afaria in the tower, and she's like freaking out, be like, "I wasn't tormenting him. Everyone thinks I was tormenting. I just wanted him for myself." She's yandere, boys. She's yandere. That's our girl.
Yeah, that was awesome.
We gotta love our yandere characters. But I thought that was so funny how like I guess she could like watch from there. But it's like she's pretty high up, but I guess like that must have been crazy. You know, he's saying that in front of the whole student body, and she's just like, "What the fuck, man? Like, it's not like that."
Big name dropping too. Everyone, I'm sure
Yeah,
that shocked everyone because nobody really knows like his backstory or how he grew up or whatever.
yeah. Why don't they? Because I feel like it was made pretty obvious when they talk about like the backstory of her ascending to the tower. Like they even kind of like show that like Will got like super depressed, and it seems like everyone knows why because he kept saying that he wanted to be with her and wanted to go with her, and you know they were glued at the hip all throughout that school. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's crazy how people like all of a sudden are like, oh my god, wait, he knows her? Because it's like you guys are acting like she left for the tower 20 years ago when like it probably was like 5. You know what I mean? Or like 6. It was probably like
Yeah, that's
not
true.
that
'Cause
far.
she's still young and she
Yeah.
looks young. You know what I mean? It's not, and I forget they're all like relatively young
I think they're
teenagers.
like
So
16. So I think she's 16 years old, and I think she went up when she was like 12. So that's what, 4 years ago?
yeah, yeah. So it hasn't been very long.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of think that's crazy. But like, dude, Wistoria is popping off. It's absolutely insane. I've been loving it. And what do you think about it moving forward?
I'm hyped to see where they go moving forward because like this was like a big moment in at least like the first season. You know what I mean? Will's
Yeah.
finally gonna get some respect, and I'm sure there's at least one more event with the school. But like we've kind of seen all these like star players kind of shine, like, or like those the big three as far as the students are concerned. The girl wins the whatever that Quidditch looking competition or the broom racing, whatever the hell it was, and Wignall wins the crown in the battle competition. Julia still like impressed everybody, but it'll be cool to see kind of what the next move is here for like this competition or what some of the teams decide if people get recruited for the next part. So I'm excited to see where it goes. The end of season one's definitely heating up.
I'm excited to see the magnitude of Will's like glory because like okay he went up against
Yeah,
Shion and Shion blew everyone away because like he got like shit on because it was like oh my god like he's going against his teammate like that's a really bad look. I don't know if we want him up in the tower anymore, like he's just an emotional kid. But then like oh my god wait, he's using like insane level magic, like he surpassed the student level. Like this, he's using like the guardian type magic, and he's able to use it into advanced level. And he's like, "Yo, this is impressive. This is really good. He's really shocking people. Like, wow, like he knows his shit magic wise." Will like didn't lose to him. You know what I mean? And then, you know, Will goes to Julius, where Julius really blows everyone away because like no one knew he could use Elfie's magic before, and now they're like, oh, he can. Like that's super impressive, and yet he still lost. And these two high level mages that are shocking everybody, despite even being so famous and so known, because like they're the top 4 kids in the school. 2 of them are the top 4. You know what I mean? Like everyone knew they were good going into it, and they still blew them away. And yet some kid who can't use magic beat both of them. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
definitely.
Will should be on like an unprecedented level of like holy shit of like stardom of like he is that fucking guy. So I want to see like what happens. I really think he deserves that like instant ride up to the tower. Like you're in, bud. Congratulations, because like that was
Yeah,
insane.
he definitely earned it. And even through the beginning of the competition too, like they were in the lead the whole time, his squad, before Shion like picks a fight with him. So like he definitely was probably the MVP of the tournament if you want to like pick somebody who stood out the most. Um So yeah, it'd be nice to see like kind of what happens with Will and like his popularity at school, and see if people like start to accept him more and maybe like invest in him more, other than like Rosti and Iris and Colette. They're really the only people that have shown like any kindness to Will at all, and Werkner too.
Yeah. So like yeah, it's gonna be really cool, and then I just can't wait to see more of this Will Shion relationship develop, this friendship, because
Yeah,
that's gonna be so goddamn good, man. I love Shion, he's so amazing. So I can't wait to see them eventually go and fight too. Because don't forget, they're still gonna fight. That fight's not done.
that's not finished yet. I definitely want to see the conclusion of that. You're right, that'll be sick. And like both of them will be working to get stronger for sure, because
Mhm.
Shion still is like feels slighted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, dude, I can't wait. Wistoria is really gonna like pop off. I feel like we're like just warming up. I feel like we aren't even there yet. So I can't wait. And again, hopefully, multiple seasons, boys. Hopefully, a good 7 season anime. I'd be good with that. I'd be good with that.
Heck yeah. There's a lot of content. Like I want to say it has like 8 to 10, maybe like a dozen, like volumes of manga out. So there's definitely a good bit of stuff. So I'm expecting season 2, 100%.
Oh, let's go. Absolutely. But what do you want to move on to next? Elusive Samurai?
Yeah, Elusive Samurai was badass.
Bro, creepy. With like the CGI, like the random like real stuff in there, like just bugs. It's just like they're really laying it on. We're like, we're gonna make these guys like these villains like super fucking creepy and weird. Even his old henchmen are like just like what the hell? Like they're like just awkward as well too. Like this is the
The
first time
guy
you
with the
really see
fucking
that.
face paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like they did a really good job of like setting the scene. Like the last couple episodes, like we've recruited Genba and Fubuki, and like it's been more about Tokiyuki and the retainers and them kind of like practicing skills and like getting to know each other better and all that.
Hmm.
But like the yeah, like that super creepy essence and like almost that horror feel to it, like prepping for the invasion and during, I thought was really sick. They did a good job.
Fubuki's amazing. Dude, that kid is so fucking good, like and skilled. Like he's like a general. The way he's able to like manage people and like to set up the camp and how to defend this. And here's what we're gonna do trap wise. Here's the game plan. We're gonna bait them from the top, shoot the arrows down. They're gonna keep going down. Then we're gonna push them forward onto this ice. You know what I mean? Like he read that motherfucker like a book, and he's a kid. It's absolutely insane. Like he's not just a retainer. Like this is his second in command. This is his general. Like he is going to be a massive piece in this war, and I mean he's a badass warrior as well. You got the dual wield blades, and he's able to take on some of the
I'd say.
highest like warriors. I love how he even says to the guy like, "Hey, you wanna like go in private over here?" He's like, "It's like what? What are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, well, I just noticed. I don't think your men want to see. I can tell like you're the strongest," and he's like trying to hide it. Him acting like a crazy asshole is so people underestimate him, but Fubuki saw right fucking through that, and he's like, "No, no, no, you're coming with me. I'm about to whoop the shit out of you." And you know
Hell
what?
yeah.
We'll do it in the back. You know, your boys don't have to see this. So, dude, Fubuki is the man. I love him. He's so cool.
And they did a really good job too of giving you like that tactical sense of like kind of old school war, and like I know that's part of the setting for like feudal Japan, but yeah, they definitely made Fubuki's skills shine in this episode. It was really sick, like the planning and like the tactics that went into it, and then you get like the villain side of it too, like they're like recognizing stuff, and like obviously they're like pretty seasoned because they're older,
Yeah.
but Fubuki definitely outsmarted them, and it kind of played into the theme too of like they're not just taking them head on one and like crushing them, but I mean, Tokiyuki definitely is in a one-on-one, but some of the other fights, you know what I mean? Like they're outsmarting them and using intelligence too, not just like plot armor or whatever. So that was
Yeah.
really sick. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Fubuki's definitely like the strongest and so far the most important member if they're gonna like actually chase down Takauji and fight some of these stronger guys.
Yeah, and Tokiyuki's his one on one against that general, that was really cool how the general like kind of acknowledged him as being a warrior. He's like, you know what, and he threw the
Yeah,
sword away, grabbed the other one out, he's like, I'll fight you not as like a prophet or whatever, as like a I don't even know what the fuck it's called. But he's like, I'm gonna acknowledge you as a warrior here, and then fought him like straight up. I'm like, dude, that's actually like pretty fucking sick. Like that dude's like a badass warrior. Like he's fucking creepy and he's weird and he's built to be that villain. But like the guy can fight. Like he's a really good fighter. It's the fact that he's acknowledging this kid as a warrior, I feel like is big for him. And then, dude, at the end, landing that hit, oh, he means business.
that
He's
was sick.
quite literally
Yeah.
gonna kill him with kindness, and it's gonna be insane.
Yeah, like it was really cool. He gives Tokiyuki his respect and like
Hmm.
he's built up to be this dishonorable character. like we don't really get too much into like what his past is pre like prison or whatever he was in, like how wherever he was before. But it was sick like seeing him, yeah, kind of like do the honorable thing and like go one on one with Tokiyuki. Like that was badass. And then obviously like I was not expecting that. Like he isn't like he like cuts through his arm. Like that was really sick. You see the blood on the wall, and it was like, oh shit. Whatever move Fubuki was like training him on is definitely like the real deal.
Well, I think he's like trying to like tell him like, hey man, like you're like a super kind guy. You know what I mean? He's like, you're scared to hurt somebody, but he's like, it's the kind thing to do. You know what I mean? Is to put him out of his misery. So like, don't hold back. You know, use that kindness, that wanting to protect others to your advantage, and use it to cut well, my friend, to slice right through that motherfucker. And that's exactly what he's gonna do. It's actually insane too, because they're actually learning. He's right. It's the first time they fought somebody in full armor, and that is a big difference. So I feel like they're just getting more prepared for the actual battlefield. Because if they're gonna be on a battlefield, it's gonna be on horseback. It's gonna be with a lot of guys around. It's gonna be chaotic. It's gonna be with strategy and traps and all these plans. And then guys who are in full armor, and it's gonna get crazy. So this is like that first little taste of what the battlefield's gonna kind of be like.
Yeah, it definitely got like to the most serious point I think for Tokiyuki so far. Like when he's dodging and evading, like he's definitely under pressure. He says like he won't feel guilty about killing. I forget what his name is. The Ant-Man, this creepy dude.
Yeah, the Ant-Man.
He like won't feel any remorse. You know what I mean, for finishing him off. We kind of see him lock in as that fight goes on, but yeah, like it's only gonna get tougher. And like obviously once they dive more into who Takauji is and like what this like non-human aspect about him is, I'm like really looking forward to seeing what that is. But we'll definitely need to see some like training or some power ups for Tokiyuki because they got a good ways to go, I think.
Well, you know what my the coolest thing I thought of that scene was that that's the first time he decided not to run away or like be elusive.
Yeah,
He had the option to knock the candles over, set the place on fire, and leave out the ceiling. And he's like, I'm not running from this. And then he struck his arm and cut it. And he's like, oh, he's staying and fighting. You know what I mean? It's the first time where he's not using that elusiveness to just dip and he's gone. So, like, he's serious. This is where we're going to see a more attack front kind of character where, like, he's just not, like, running away looking for that one opportunity. Like, no, he's going to stay in the fight. He's going to use his elusiveness to dodge his attacks, but he's going to get in there. He's going to deal some damage as well. So, I'm super excited to see that more aggressive kind of or more offense focused Takayuki. I feel like that's going to be, like, really awesome.
definitely. I'm excited for this next episode. It'll be badass. Like seeing the finish to this fight and kind of how it goes and some of the dialogue. You're right. Seeing a more aggressive, more focused Tokiyuki, I think will be badass. And you can kind of see how they're shaping him up to be, like this shogun, like this guy who can actually rule the nation instead of just running away. Like he will be able to fight too.
Yeah, I agree. But should we move on to Ayla hides her feelings in Russian, or do you have anything else to say about Elusive Samurai?
I'm hyped, man. I feel like the season's moved really fast, but that's kind of a good thing because it's been like pretty action packed and like some good world building. Just like Wistoria, man. I definitely think we'll get a season 2.
Oh, dude, I'm really liking this. I hope we get a season 2. It's got good animation, but I don't know how many people are watching it is the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like anytime you see CGI, I feel like that attracts a certain amount of hate or like a certain audience that just loves to bash on it. But like this episode, I thought it was the last 2, maybe it was a little bit more well done than like the first horseback episode. So it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me either. But yeah, like you're saying, like we've already got comments where it's like, oh yeah, I love Elusive Samurai, and then they had the CGI, so fuck that anime. And it's like, I'm not even gonna acknowledge this, brother. Like,
yeah, think of the budget. Think of the budget.
Like it is what it is. It's really not that bad, but it all depends. It's what people think. So we'll see if it does get a season 2. I really enjoy it. But another anime I really enjoy is Aya hides her feelings in Russian. Such a funny fucking anime, bro.
So good.
Says the dumbest shit at the worst time. They're on stage. He's like, "Hey Aya, real quick before you talk to the whole student body, what are those titty size?" Like, what's
crazy?
That? Are you an E cup? The worst part is that we're skipping ahead here. Is that at the end of it, she asks him about it. Like, hey, like, why are you like asking questions about my chest size? Like, what the fuck? He's like, oh, well, a friend, she told me about it. Like, brother, so you're gonna tell her that you were talking to another girl about her. Well, first of all, she's not gonna be happy that you're talking to another girl. Like, she's made that
Yeah.
obvious. She gets mad when he thinks of other girls. So you're talking to another girl about her boobs. Yeah. How is this gonna go well? How do you think that that's gonna work? Like, you honestly should have just played it off like you were a horn dog and you're just curious, because that would have made more sense. That would have gotten you out of the woods a little bit more.
Totally agree, dude. His like reason for justifying it, yeah, is totally worse than him saying it in the first place. Because like,
Yeah.
I get where he was coming from. Like, something funny or like awkward to break the tension. Because like, obviously, she was starting to feel nervous and stuff. Like, it was pretty funny, but like, yeah, when she comes back to it, he like doubles down and like just straight up tells her the truth. Like, couldn't have
Yeah.
been any worse. You're exactly right.
Yeah, just because he's also like doesn't even tell the full truth because like it's his sister that said it. It's like no, just
Which is way
another
more
girl.
normal.
Like me and some other girl were talking about your boobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was what like he's like, bro, like it's she needs to hit you more. Like I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Like Alya needs to beat the hell out of him. He says the dumbest shit at the worst time, but it is so fucking funny. I thought that was amazing. I thought that was so funny.
Definitely a really good scene. And there's like a couple other moments too where like Kuze actually does tell her like it's different running with her versus Yuki because like he actually wants to rather than feeling like guilty or like that he has a certain responsibility or obligation to fulfill. And like that was kind of a cool scene in addition to him, yeah, being like a perverted. I mean, he's a teenager, but yeah, just being straight up with it.
Yeah, dude, that was fucking insane. The whole like actual like Congress, was it called Student Congress or whatever, that was
Yeah.
like had so many moments in it too. First of all, that one girl is an absolute piece of shit for using plants in the crowd, like planting people in the crowd and having them like say that shit. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, fuck that chick. I have no sympathy for her. I'm glad Yuki made her bitch ass cry in middle school. She absolutely,
Hell
her and
yeah.
her sister are snakes. And then just the dip at the end, nah, fuck that. They're dirty as fuck. I'm glad they lost. When I saw that, I was like, dude, that's such bullshit. I was like, dude, our MC should just rip her apart for that. Like, that was, like, she plays like, she's portrayed as that like very like studious, nice kind of student. You know what I mean? It's like that student who's like a goody two shoes, and it's like, oh, that student's actually like dirty as fuck and underhand shit. Like, nah. I was like, I'm so glad they lost.
Nah, I thought her like argument from the beginning was like kind of bad. Like the idea of the
Yeah.
student congress was cool. It like gives you some debate time with the two candidates, and kind of like they said in episode 7, like it'll establish a pecking order. So like there's a lot of pressure on both of them. But like the idea that like teachers should pick the Congress or like the student body kind of defeats the whole purpose of like getting into that as a kid and like running for like student office and like all the responsibilities that come with it. So like I thought her argument was flawed from the beginning. And Kuze and Alya do a much better job of like presenting a good argument, even with and like Kuze had like set her up to be like kind of wicked and diabolical and like annoying, and yeah, with the whole plants in the crowd, they definitely like gave you a good example of that. So
Yeah.
she took the L hard this episode.
And her debate was not only just stupid for that reason, but the reason she's saying that is because she doesn't think that they should be running. She doesn't think that they should be a part of it. And if students needed approval from teachers, then they wouldn't be here. Bitch, they're both on the student council already.
I was gonna say they're both like actively in the student body and like doing stuff and like helping out at school. We've seen like Alya and Kuze resolve a few conflicts between like
Yeah.
the baseball team and stuff like that. So like everybody knows who they are, and like even if they think Alya's a little cold or standoffish, like it's not like they're like actual lazy people or like not helpful. And I guess her reasoning seemed very personal. Like it was definitely directed at Kuze for being like a slacker or lazy. But like if they,
But again,
you
he's
know,
on the
if you were
student
to-
council and she isn't. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like-
he does more than she does.
and like he kind of does it from like the background, but people still know him and like he helps out. So like, yeah, her argument kind of all around definitely was not the strongest. She definitely, I feel like, picked a fight with the better
Yo,
candidates, both of them.
dude, for real. And it was so funny is not only that, but it's this simple president, like the current president, catching absolute fucking strays in front of
Yeah, dude.
everybody. He's like, my fellow students or whatever. He's like, let's not forget our current president was a deadbeat, a loser, pathetic, no friends, bad grades. But you know what? We rallied for him. He changed, and he got better, and look at him now. And, like, he gets up and he's like, I'm still trying to, like, sort through the emotions of just getting fucking bullied by my underling, but, like, let's continue.
Roasted in front of the whole school. That was really funny, but it was also a good point from Kuze because, like,
Yeah.
you know, it showed like, and I feel like the president's a cool character. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
has like a decent backstory, and he's a cool dude now. So that was definitely a very funny point to make,
Yeah.
but very smooth by Kuze.
Yeah, it's just absolutely dummying this student body council president. That was absolutely insane. I absolutely love that. And yeah, it was completely against that girl's point. Like, that girl completely got shit on because it's like, your point is completely invalid because, like, you're going against people that, like, prove that wrong. You know what I mean? Like, they're on the student council. So it's just like, what are you trying to get out of here? But it was just so stupid. It was insane. But Yuki, bro, Yuki remains to be the funniest character ever.
Dude, she feels like a mastermind. Like she said, she has like final boss energy. Like
Dude,
some of
she
her
gives it
dialogue
off.
definitely.
Her with the
Yeah.
tea. The tea the
Yes,
entire
dude.
time.
So
Who
good.
the fuck are you?
Like once they like dive more into her backstory, I guess like you had touched on it earlier. Like I'm definitely excited to see because like she's too funny. She definitely knows she's like super smart, like kind of pulling the strings. It's awesome.
Bro, I love how such like a fucking weeb or a taco she is. It is just so goddamn funny.
Yeah.
Her fascination with the final boss vibes is so fucking funny. Again, the whole thing with her and the tea, and then you have like the maid that's following her around. That's like, I said multiple times we cannot have food or beverage in here. She's like, fine,
Yeah.
let's leave. And she kept
It's
giving off.
awesome.
She kept like asking. She keeps asking like every episode, like, "Am I giving off like final boss vibes?" And she's like, "You keep like comparing yourself to a final boss, but don't they always lose?" She's like, "Shut the fuck up! Like,
Yeah. Not part of the plan.
don't shit on my parade." Like, we're ignoring
Yeah.
that.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out because I don't feel like either Alya or Yuki is like guaranteed to win. You know what I mean? They haven't really made it clear. Like I can still see Yuki winning.
Oh, absolutely. No, Yuki is by far the favorite. By far, the
Yeah,
favorite.
for sure. And she's like obviously got the confidence. Like she won in middle school, so she knows she can. But
Well,
I'm excited to see how it plays out, or like their debate, or Alya and Yuki when they go at it.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be a mess. Cause she even said she's like the MC held back. Like he could have ripped this thing apart from square one. Like he could have gotten rid of this so much quicker and easier, and in such an insane way, and he didn't. So she's like, oh, I guess he doesn't have the killer instinct like I do. So we're gonna just blood in the water, and Yuki's hungry. So I cannot wait to see them go at it. I think that Yuki is going to get dirty with things. Like start messing with their relationship and start throwing them off in certain ways. I feel like Yuki is gonna be fucking causing chaos. Like Yuki is one of the people that are like war crimes. She's the one that commits war crimes
Yeah.
before they're considered war crimes. You know what I mean? Like that's Yuki. So I feel like we're gonna get into some uncharted, chaotic fucking territory, and I am all for it. I can't wait to watch this all come crumbling down in flames.
Dude, I know. I'm excited to see kind of like what she stirs up and what she cooks up because like she'll definitely take action in these next couple episodes, like
Yeah.
you said, to kind of throw Kuze and Alya off their game or maybe push them. Like she's definitely not afraid to say how she feels and like kind of put Alya in awkward positions. So like I'm definitely excited to see when she makes like a real move and really tries to um like they said earlier, establish that pecking order, like knock her off her game and make her uncomfortable. It'll be a blast.
But I also can't wait to see Yuki kind of get knocked off her pedestal a little bit. You know what I mean? Yuki is
Especially if Kuze steps up, like, and
Yeah.
he like kind of battles back. I could see him sticking up for Alya and trying to like protect her in a way.
Yuki hasn't been on the defensive yet. We haven't seen Yuki kind of like startled, like been like set. She's been solid, so it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out.
Kuze will put some pressure on her. I think the more like serious she gets with Alya, I think he'll step in and like kind of put the pressure back on her, and like it'll be interesting to see to what degree like they'll go at it, or like who will yield first, Yuki or Kuze. But that's like my prediction for like the ending or the finale of season 1, I think.
Yeah, dude, we need more. We're gonna need multiple seasons of this because some of these animes they just don't get new seasons. I feel like all the dog shit animes are always guaranteed to come back with the second season. All the good ones are the ones that are just you're up in air. You know what I mean? You never know if they're gonna get a new season or not. But
And they have enough content, and
yeah.
like they've been really, really good. Like I want to see at least the story play out, and even if it's only like 2 or 3 seasons, I definitely just want to see how like things come together.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, dude. I can't wait. This season has been absolutely phenomenal. I think that's it, though. Is there anything else you want to add?
Hopefully, we get some season twos, but yeah, it definitely been good.
Yeah,
Super excited for the rest of this season.
dude, we only have a couple more episodes left. It's bullshit.
I know, like everything's at like
Yeah,
7, 8, 9. I'm like, damn, it's been like so action packed and like interesting. I feel like it's going really fast.
too fast, way too fast. So I think they're all 12-episode animes. So listen, it's been an awesome season so far. This end is coming soon, but we got some time. It's like a month. You know what I mean? And then you got fall and winter, which are gonna be absolutely cracked,
Dude,
absolutely
tons of good
overflowing with
stuff.
stuff. Yeah. So I'm super excited. Hope you guys are too. Let us know down below what you're thinking of these animes. What is your favorite anime of the season? And are you watching Tower of God? What do you think about it? What would you recommend it to somebody? But I think that's it. Have a good one, everybody, and peace.